Good morning. Welcome back to Open Hand Farm. Today we have a huge project behind us. I was going to say in front of us, but right now it's behind us. And that project is my pantry. So I know people have already told me when I say, oh, I'm going to do a video on my pantry, you've already organized your pantry. You guys, that was like a year ago. We have an intergenerational homestead here. So we have 9 people. I have my middle daughter. I have my son, his wife, their 3 kids, and I have my mother. So there's always people in and out of this pantry. It gets a little ransacked. But also in August, I participated in the Every Bit Counts challenge, where every day I preserved something. And because that was my biggest harvest month in the garden, I preserved a lot, at least for me. I know it's not as much as some people do, but for me, it was a lot. So now I need to straighten up these shelves, put my other canned goods in the front, put my newer canned goods in the back so that I use them appropriately. So let me show you what needs to go in here, at least some of them. These are some of the items that need to go in the pantry. Some of them will go in the pantry. Some of them will go down in the larder. Here is a table in my basement that is also full of jars that need to be put away. Some of these are double stacked, and some of them will go in the pantry and some of them in the larder, depending on what I need where. And yes, I said I did this canning in August, and this is October the 27th, and it's still sitting on tables. I have not had time to do this. So that's why it has to get done. I'm tired of things sitting everywhere. I have another area that we store things in, so some of this might go back there, or some of that might come in here. Let me show you the creamery. So this is the creamery, and we have in here some of our baking things. This is where we like to come in and use the mixer or the Vitamix or the food processor, whatever. So I have things up here, I have things over here, and some of that might need to move to a new home. I've been watching videos this morning to see if I could get some good ideas for my pantry to realign it so that it works perfectly for us. But all of those people had hardly anything on their shelves, and they were able to just put their little items in a tub and put it on. We cook from scratch everything that we make, so we don't have just a box of cereal or some boxes of dinner mixes or things like that. We have ingredients, and when you cook from scratch, sometimes those ingredients can take over. So I am going to do some measuring in the pantry, and then I'm going to go to Walmart, buy a few tubs, and then we're going to get busy. Okay, I went to Walmart and I got some items to sort and separate with. And I put on my Simplify shirt. Mark brought me this. He says I don't know how. I'm going to try. I really am. Are you ready to see what the pantry looks like right now? Let's do it. Okay, here is the full-on view just through the doorway. I'm going to kind of rotate here so you can see this side wall. And I don't know if you can see this side wall. It's harder to get this side wall in one big picture because of this countertop right here. But you get the idea. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff in there. Some of this stuff could be stored somewhere else. Let me take you in a little bit closer so you can get a little bit more detail as to what is going on in here. You're probably going to see my shadow since I have a light behind me. A lot of this stuff, like these things are more like teas, and I think I'm going to put those somewhere different. This shelf has a lot of space that I could fill in. That's just kind of an empty box sitting there. These are more spices that can be dealt with. We've got room on this shelf for a lot of things. These back corners are something that I've been wanting to deal with. So I bought some turntables to try back in there. So we'll see how that goes. Some of this stuff can be stored other places. And I got big tubs to put all these cereal and chip type things in. Unfortunately, I have to deal with the Dr. Thunder because that is my husband's drink of choice. So we'll find a better place for that. Over here, we have like different spices that I don't have room for in my spice cabinet. We have some things that are for when we run out, they're backup supply that could be put somewhere else. And then right here, smack dab in the middle, are all of my cups. And when people come to my activities, they know to go in behind the screen door and grab a cup for their coffee. Of course, there's no way to make this better without just taking everything out. I'm not feeling great today, but I'm going to have to push through because Kaylee and the kids are gone for the afternoon. So that's a perfect time to work on this project. So here we go. As I pull these items out, I'm going to try to put them on the tables sorted into like items. We'll see how that goes. It's my lucky day. I found a dime in the bottom of this box. I asked my husband the other day to bring me some brown sugar and powdered sugar. I don't use them very often, at least not for anything I eat. But I make stuff for my family and I like to keep them on hand so that when I need them, they're there. Let me show you what I just found behind a box. 1, 2 powdered sugar. 1, 2, 3 brown sugar and a partial. You guys, that's why these corners need to be addressed. Okay, I'm at a spot that I think I can stop for a minute and kind of just reevaluate what's in there. But first, I'll show you what it looks like out here. Oh boy. In here, it looks better. I'm going to wipe off the shelves and I'll start with the top ones, and some of this stuff down here will go up there. So I'm not going to pull it out until I get up here done. I had put this blue tape temporarily on to tell me what was in the rows, and I never did do what I wanted to do, which was make better labels. I'm going to pull these off because I have another plan for how to know what is in my canning jars. because as you see right here, you don't know what that is. I know it's applesauce, but if you pull it out and look, honey cinnamon applesauce. But when you're looking like this, you have no idea. So I am going to put stickers on the front of the jars with some stickers that I bought that are water soluble. So when I wash the jar, they'll come off. And that way I'll know by looking what each jar is on these shorter shelves. I just might need to clean these off too. What do you think? My kombucha bottles are down here on the floor and I want to move them up to the top shelf. Okay, that's great. I got these non-skid turntables from Walmart, and the area that I have to put it in is 16 by 16, and these have a diameter of 12.2 inches, so we'll still have some room around it, but it's a good size to hold quite a few things. Now that I have things out of here and some things kind of in place, I just want to place all of the storage items that I bought today so that I know where things are going to go. Okay, I think I have the storage bins in the approximate area that I want to use them. We'll see. I'll just start putting stuff back and I'll show you when I'm done. Wow. Okay, you guys, it is 8:00 p.m. I got home from Walmart and started this project at 2:00 p.m. I took an hour for dinner, but it's pretty much done. I'm about ready to throw in the towel for the night. I need to do some straightening though so that nobody trips on all of my messes as they come through here at night. I'm not going to reveal the pantry yet, but here's what the tables look like now. They're looking pretty good. I have taken some items out of the pantry. They can go downstairs in the larder storage. So that way I don't have to make room for them up here. I did take some of these canned goods and put them in the pantry. I took about 4 boxes worth off of the table downstairs and brought them up. And I still have a lot here, but progress. Lots of progress. And like those extra sugars can go down to the larder. Of course, you know what my next project will be, right? You guessed it. These are all the empty boxes and stuff and a couple of things that need to go to the larder and just stuff. Now I've got to clean all this up so that when my kids come home, Genesee can get in her room right there to go to bed. Good morning. I got a good night's rest after working so hard yesterday. I actually worked an extra hour back here before I went to bed, just getting stuff all tidied up. I woke up to a very cold morning. It's 33 degrees here this morning, and we're supposed to have a hard frost coming up this week. This morning, I'm going to show you, first of all, the area that I tidied up, and then I'm going to show you the pantry. Here is the table that was full last night and is full again. This is all the stuff. I moved all of the things off of that table. This is everything that will be going down and being stored in the larder. That will definitely be my very next project. And then you'll see that I was able to clean up the table space, broke up all my boxes. You guys, when you work on a job like this, you got to keep it tidy as you go, or you'll drive yourself crazy because you'll have a clean pantry, but you'll have a disaster out here. You can't do that. All right, are you ready? Let's take a look. Now, before I show you the pantry now, let me remind you of what it looked like earlier. Okay, we'll start with the straight on shot like we did before. And I'm just going to walk forward here. You'll probably see my shadow again. So everything is labeled. Things are stored in better places than they were before. I definitely found floor space. This is really nice. I left some room here because there are some other things that I want to bring up from the larder. And I still have some spaces that I could add some pint jars if I needed to. I've got more room right down here also. Let's turn this way and look at this shelf. I have my Scobie Hotel. And if you don't know what that is, I'll put a card up and you can go check it out. Got my pans, my kombucha bottles all stored away nicely. On this shelf, you guys, look here in the corner. This has changed my life in here. So this turntable has just different spices, oils, vinegars on it. So we can get to it very easily. This for right now has marshmallows in it. I don't know if they'll stay there, but behind it, I have some storage also, and I can see through this. So I know what's back there. Still have my pans in the same spot I had them. Just have some big jars of storage things here. Mark's Dr. Thunder that he can pour from, but then the others are all right down there so he can grab one when he needs it. This basket is all baking items. Back here, we have refills of items. So when we run out, we can just grab one here. And we don't need to see that as much. I wanted to use this one for spices and things that we use so that we could see them very clearly. Now this corner down here has baking refills on it. So that's handy also to get to. This is where the kids will grab their snacks. So they need to be at their level. That's why it's on this shelf, but it's kind of left quite a bit of space here. So I might get one of those kind of hang down basket things that kind of hangs into that empty space. I might be able to use that. This is our nuts and dried fruit. Cookie cutters right there. Now this tub has all the cereal and chips and things like that. It can just be pushed in out of the way. That's great. Okay, let's turn this way. Up here we have just kind of out of the way kind of things that we don't use all the time. And I left my tostada shells up there. I didn't want them to get broken on a lower shelf. These are some baking things that Kaylee uses. She does some baking for people. These are more refills. These are items that you can just open a jar and make a meal out of it. We don't have very many of those, but I thought I'd put them all together. My cups, as you can see, are still in the same spot. Just some assorted things that we use for cooking here. All the peanut butter, Nutella, Biscoff, all that stuff right there. More spices that aren't used as much in these tubs, the spices we use more frequently up here. This is a nice little tub that I got at Walmart that has dividers in it. So this one has our packets that we use. This one has chocolate chips, and this one has other baking things. Then down here we have all of our pasta boxes, our honeys, some broths that we had store-bought, and beans on the bottom and crackers on the bottom, as well as cookie decorations. You guys, this is amazing. I love it. I know where things are. I know what things are, and everybody else will too. So anybody that walks in here, I could say, can you go to the pantry and get the blah, blah, blah? It's on the back shelf. You'll be able to see it or whatever. Okay, what do you think? Thanks so much for coming along and helping me push through this project. It's always helpful when I know you're on the other end and you want to see how it comes out too. The next project will definitely be the larder. So watch for that video to come out soon too. If you're new here, thank you for coming along. And I promise you, I do have messes like this throughout my house. I'm not perfect by any means. So come along as you help me walk through trying to get my house to a state of organization. And until next time, when we meet in the larder, blessings on you and yours.